Thanks for tuning in, crew. We're out here in the boonies yet again, and we're gonna do about a day-and-a-half survival trip out here. We got a couple of cool little techniques and tricks we're gonna teach you. We're gonna show you. May go good, may go bad. It's bear country. We may see some bears. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We're off for another camping adventure. Me and the boys. This time we're heading over to eastern Montana on the eastern side of the state. Heading over to Custer-Gallatin National Forest for a day-and-a-half camp. Our fun Montana fact for the day is going to be that Montana is actually the record holder in the world for the most drastic 24-hour temperature change. In January 1972, at about the middle of the month, the temperature fluctuated a ridiculous amount. It went from a low of negative 54 degrees Fahrenheit to a high of 49 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a ridiculous 103 degree change in temperature in only a 24-hour span. So this state loses its mind at times. We have a very diverse menu for you guys. I'm really excited to show you what we're gonna be eating out there. We're gonna be eating good, to say the least. So stay tuned for that. We also have a couple more survival tips and tricks that we're gonna try out there. We're gonna do a little bit of some primitive fire construction. We're gonna try it. I'm hopeful that it'll work. So please stay tuned for that. We have a couple other little surprises and a few features that we wanna show you guys out on our adventure here. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and stay tuned for our second great adventure so far with the truck topper. Well, we have arrived. We had planned to stay at a small campground up here. We got all the way up, and there was one person there already. It's a really small little campground. So we wanted some privacy yet again. So we're gonna do a little dispersed camping. So we came up to this big hilltop where we're kind of actually out of the wind, which I was surprised by. But this is kind of what we're working with here as far as our setup's gonna go. This is gonna be home right here. And we're on a kind of a big flat between two kind of larger gullies over here. Then we got a big steep drop off over here, and you got another one over there. This area got hit by forest fires, you can see out there, but this will be a nice little spot for us to tuck in. We are a ways away from civilization, so I got two little boys going on a small exploration. But this is what it's going to look like up here. This is a pre-camp setup, and we'll get you guys another video quick when camp is up. So stand by for that, guys. Camp is, for the most part, up. We brought a little more with this time just because we're a little further out. So water, cooking utensils, GoPro stuff. Got the dudes over chilling in the chairs, and we got the canopy up. When I say canopy, it's just a big expensive tarp that I paid way too much money for that's already tearing. But it just offers us a little bit of coverage. Oh, his butt's out. He sure is. So this is the big tarp I was missing last trip. This just offers us a lot more coverage. So we just prop it up with some sticks. It's nice to have something to tie off to. If in the event we don't have something to tie off to, I have some pretty big, aggressive, more or less oversized stakes that I'll use to tie off. Fire pit's up. We're gonna start getting a fire going now. I'm gonna start prepping some firewood, and we'll jump into our first challenge, which is a little fire starter hack, kind of like we did last time. And then we have another even more primitive method of creating fire. We're gonna use some friction out here today, but that's gonna take me a little work to get prepped for. So let's talk firewood again. One of the most important components of being out camping. There's only a handful of things humans need. 4 basic needs humans have to have met: shelter, oxygen, food, water. Shelter accomplished, food, water we brought with. So we're gonna start building that fire to give us that ability to process some food. If you haven't planned correctly, or something goes awry, or you just end up in a bad situation, you don't always come prepared with tools. I bring a lot of stuff with. I bring more than I'll ever need because I got these 2 little boys with me out here camping, and I'm not going to put them in a bad spot. That being said, I like to practice some of the primitive techniques so that if you do ever find yourself in a bad spot, you can do something about it. So we're going to go over how to process some wood. Without a saw, without an axe, you're gonna have a hard time. Out here, we have a ton of downed trees. They're everywhere. So we're not gonna have any shortage of fuel, but to process that fuel into burnable sized chunks, that's where it kind of becomes a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna gather up a bunch of fairly long pieces, and I'll show you guys kind of a little trick that we can use versus sitting there stomping on wood, trying to break it up and process it. So let's get a good supply of wood going. We're gonna be, like I said, a day and a half, but let's just get a whole pile of it. All right, so now you got your wood. What we're gonna next look for is gonna be 2 trees that are set up kind of like this. They have a gap between them just like that. Something like this would work too, just depending on how big the stick you're dealing with is. And we're gonna use this, and we're gonna use the piece of wood like a lever. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. All right, so we got our 2 trees, we got our log. Just insert through to the desired length. Apply pressure. Just like that. That's a way to process wood to at least get it somewhat down to size. Kindling's always a little easier to find. Next, what we'll do is we'll talk about how to split wood when you don't have a heavy duty axe to be able to split that wood with. You can do it with a knife, you can do it with a machete, what have you. It's got to be a sturdy knife, but that's what we'll jump into next. So we'll only need a few things to split the wood. Like I had mentioned earlier, you'll need some type of cutting instrument. So I just got this little machete. This would normally be a real pain in the ass to split a log with. So we'll need a machete, the material we're splitting, and then a club. You want a nice sturdy piece of wood. A lot of this dead stuff's rotted, so you have to really kind of search around and look for something with a little more girth to it. So all we're gonna do, go to your desired area that you're trying to split at, just smack this bad boy down in. Give yourself enough overhang with the end of it here where we can drive it through. You don't want this tip lodged inside the log. You'll see why in a second. So then just spin it around righty or lefty, whichever hand you prefer to hit with. Get your club ready. Hold with that offhand, and then we're just gonna hammer down through. You don't need to beat the absolute crap out of it. Just beat it down in there nice and easy. Apply pressure with that backhand. Simple as that. Wash and repeat. All right, so we're gonna have Mother Nature help rather with this fire starting process. So if you watched the last videos, you might know what I'm looking for right now. And you can tell there's been a ton of porcupines out here. So these trees are all chewed to hell. And you can see dried sap on this one. So it's just kind of flaking off. It almost looks like wax. We want some of the more wet sap. We can use the dry stuff, but I don't want the wet stuff. So what we're gonna do is take a bunch of that sap, and we're gonna help use that sap to start the fire with this other little hack that we use to start fire. So what I'm gonna end up doing, guys, is using cotton balls to start fire. What I do, I just keep some in the truck and I put some Vaseline on them. You'll see I'll just score them up, and that's what's gonna catch my spark from my flint. And that Vaseline is somewhat of a fuel. It's not a massive accelerant or anything like that, but it just kind of helps it catch a little bit. And if we mix some of that sap in there with it, it'll really, it should go pretty good. And the wood isn't terribly wet. We have had a pretty good amount of moisture. It rained pretty good the last 2 days, but some of this dead stuff should take pretty good. So here is what we're looking for. This is some fresh sap right here. So this stuff's gonna be pretty sticky, and we're just gonna collect some of that stuff, and that's gonna take real good. We got a pretty good amount of it here, and you can see porcupines have just chewed this tree up all the way up to the top up there. So we're gonna collect some of that. All right, let's go through our different levels of fire starter. We got our fairly dry grass, perfect for a tinder bundle. Our super dead pine needles, they'll have a little bit of fuel in there that's going to burn. Some super dry bark, some really small pieces of kindling, a little bit bigger, and then we graduate to some heavier duty wood that's not quite as rotted out. And then what I did was I peeled a piece of dry bark off a tree, and I'm going to use this to hold my tinder bundle. It's also going to shield it from the wind, and this is also just a big piece of fuel. And we have our cotton balls here that I covered in that sap, and they have a little bit of that Vaseline on there. So I'm just going to score these up, get that tinder bundle all processed. You already know, if you've watched the last video, we got to sit there and work that dead grass and get those fibers completely broken up in there so we can get something that's going to catch a little better. So I'm going to get this little rat nest put together. And if this was a, what you got?
I got this for our firewood.
Oh, the helper brought some more firewood. Toss it in the pile, dude. So if this were a true survival situation, I may have stumbled upon something that could be helpful in this situation. That being said, I'm not super stoked about it because I'm gonna eat it. So in processing this wood, I found this big nasty grub right here.
What's that?
So if you're going to eat a grub, see that thing? You wanna eat it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat it.
I know.
So what you wanna do, grab it by the head. You don't wanna eat the head. On the back side, there's actually a shit sack. So I'm gonna bite that little shit sack off, spit it out, hold it by the head, and down the hatch. This is something that would give you at least some nutrients to be able to survive a little bit longer. Hold on, buddy, what's up?
I don't want you to eat it because I want to.
You wanna eat it?
Yeah.
I can't let him do it. His mom would kill me. All right, so we're gonna get rid of the poop sack.
Dad.
And down the hatch.
Dad.
Tastes like dirt and wood.
Yeah, I didn't want you to bite it.
You wanted to eat it?
Yeah.
His mom would beat me. All right, let's get the fire started. That wasn't as disgusting as it may have looked.
Yeah.
Got a new flint rod. We're not using the spork today.
It went on a very good wet.
Burn that top layer off of that flint. Let's get a rock in there and hold this bad boy up on either side. We don't want to tip it over, right? All right. There it is. So you see what that sap does right there?
Yeah.
Tiny little spark, that's all it took, and she took off.
Yeah, why do we put that right there?
Now it's important not to strangle our fire. We don't want that. So let's get some of these pine needles off to the side. Get some of that bark on the pine needles.
You have this to do.
Now that pine cone, yeah, we'll toss that in there in a second. So while we're waiting for our food to cook, let's begin construction for our friction fire. We're gonna make another fire. I know I got one going already, but I got kids to feed and I got food to make. So pieces that we're gonna need for this are already laid out in front of me here. I'll give you guys a look at those in a second. The vast majority of the material that you're gonna need to make this, you should have with you if you're out and about in the wilderness. If you're out without a knife and shoes, I don't know what to tell you. You have kind of sealed your own fate at that point. But if you have a shoelace and a knife, you can make what I'm going to show you. So the materials we're going to be looking at, we need one kind of big, large, sturdy piece, and we're going to split this the same way that I just showed you guys earlier in the video, and we're going to create somewhat of a flat surface. Then what else I'm going to need is a fairly straight and sturdy stick. And then I'm going to need a stick that's kind of got a bit of a curve to it, almost like this. And a shoelace. I'm not taking my shoelaces out. A piece of 550 is going to simulate our shoelace. So what we're going to make is a bow drill. It's something that's been used for a long time to create fire out in the elements, and it's something I've wanted to try for a while, but I've never had taken the initiative. So I'm going to give that a try today. I'm going to get to work on that as the food's cooking, and I'll kind of show you guys some of the progress as we go, as I put this thing together. And I think we'll probably have some success today. It's dry enough that I think I can maybe make it happen. So fingers crossed, guys. Stay with me on this. Well, guys, I threw in the towel on the bow drill fire. I think I just don't have a good enough setup. This is something I'm gonna have to practice. Easy now, boys. Whoa, easy. That being said, I want to continue to try and do it. I'm going to make it happen on one of these videos. Sucks to give up now, but I only have so much time in the day, and I want to go take these little guys out for a hike. And we got a couple more things coming in the video. Stay tuned for the gourmet meal that I'm going to be eating tonight. That is over the top, but it's going to be good. You guys are going to love it. So I'm going to take these two crazy kids, sorry about all the yelling. That's just what they do, out on a hike. We'll bring you guys along and see what we can find out there. So we came down the hill. We're staying up there, sort of, by the trees. So we marched down in here, maybe I don't know, a quarter mile or so. It looked like there could be some water down here just by how the terrain looked, and there is. I am highly doubting anybody piped water in down here, so it looks like they got a natural spring they've tapped into. Oh, you know what, I do see a pipe actually coming out from the hillside, so they may have actually. But regardless, there's some water down here, and it's kind of like a natural depression here where it seemed like there may be, but we would not want to drink that. That'd be disgusting. You'd want to certainly decontaminate that. Any sitting and resting water is not something you're going to want to drink. That would make you extremely sick very quickly. Obviously, in a dire situation, one could. I think in a future video we'll discuss how to filter water with some of Mother Nature's natural filters. But for now, we're going to take a seat real quick and kind of go over some of the everyday carry stuff that I'll take with me when we're out doing like just a brief backpacking like this, where we're not leaving home base very far, but we are still out in the middle of absolute nowhere. And the closest emergency room to us is probably at least 100 miles, if not further. Yeah? And there's no help coming. You're in the middle of nowhere. We have a little bit of cell service. But not a whole lot. So you are your own best friend out here. So we'll sit down real quick, guys, and let's dive into my pack real quick and see some of the things that I carry. And we'll see if we can keep these two out of all this disgusting shit mud. Christ, I hope so. So the pack I'm carrying today is it's a cheap little shoulder pack. This is nothing fancy. I'm not going far. This is just something I can pack the bare essentials in. So obviously hydration is important. I got a water bottle for the kids here. And then inside the bag, I got one for me. You know, we have extra in here. Should something happen, I break my leg down here, you know, we are going to be stuck at that point. Or if I got to deal with one of these two. So I bring more than I'll ever need. So I got my water in here as well. I toss in my little fire starter kit, so it's got a flint and a few options for starting a fire, so I can, you know, if we needed to, we could always start one down here. Also got a light in there should I need it. Spare shirt, deodorant, can't leave home without it. Small charging port for my phone, charging pack for my phone and or the GoPro. Hey Knox, hey, too far. Look at this kid. Come down from there, you're gonna roll down that hill. Come on now. Thinks he's huge. And then in the front of the pack, just kind of an IFAC. So if any injury does take place out here, I want to be able to treat that. We got to be able to treat ourselves once again. No one's going to get here and be able to offer us any type of aid before, you know, Mother Nature is going to basically take its course. So I have a cat tourniquet for me on the side here. And then in the guts of this thing, a lot of folks go out and buy their own kits. I don't. I buy a kit and I kind of build it myself. I just find that I know more so what I want than what's going to come in just a basic kit. So within the kit, we have some basic things. So the first thing I have sitting on top is probably the most important thing I carry. Sorry if you can't see this, but this is going to be a SWAT T tourniquet. So it's basically an elastic workout band. If you've ever seen one, I could do a full video on something. I don't want to pull it out of there because this is an actual one I use in the field. And I tear it at the top. For those of you who aren't familiar, if you have some type of nasty bleed that you're trying to stop the bleeding to, you're not going to have fine motor skill functions. You're going to have a gross motor skill function at that point. So just save myself one step. This is for children. If you have kids, you should have this in your kit. A normal tourniquet, like the one I have here, is going to do nothing for a child. Their arms and legs are this big. A tourniquet will do nothing. This, on the other hand, will. If you're interested in a full feature video on the SWAT T, holler at me. But get yourself one, become familiar with it. Also inside, I have latex gloves, a set of shears, an NPA if I need to set an airway. God, that'd be miserable. Tourniquet. I have some quick clock gauze down inside. So this is a different type of tourniquet. I have a cat tourniquet and I have a soft tourniquet. And quick clock gauze there, and then an Israeli bandage. And down inside I got a Sharpie. Don't leave home without a Sharpie. So that's the basics, guys, on what I'm always going to take with me when we're even just doing some very minor backpacking. And they are both just in it right now. The one is sitting in the mud. What do you expect, I guess, right? We're out here to enjoy nature. Let them go crazy. And then on my person, things that I'm always going to bring with me, I'm always going to have some type of knife. So I'm just carrying a SOG knife on me right now. It's got a window break, a seatbelt cutter, and then it's just a decent blade. It's nothing crazy, but I'm not breaking the bank for it. And then I got bear mace on me. We're in black bear country. Not a ton of grizzly out here. That kid is just laying in water. Maddox, get out of there. My God. Oh, it's so bad. Look at this. It's so bad.
Dad, look it.
Sorry, take a break from the EDC real quick. This is the challenges of doing these videos with the kids. We got one down and two down. He is just knee deep in it. It's fun though, right? We're having a good time. Come on now, get out of there. All right, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, you're ruined. I hope I have extra shoes for him. We'll cut back, guys. As far as the EDC goes, that's really about it. Wipes would be a good one to add if you got kids. Throw some wipes in. This kid is disgusting. We'll catch you guys back at the camp. You guys ready to go? Let's go.
I'm not ready.
Well, we made it back. Here's the aftermath. Just soaked. Up to his knees in mud. We got him settled in now. And of course, he took a number 2 as I had to carry him all the way back. How we doing now? Are we good in there?
Where are you? Doesn't see.
I'll sleep in there with you guys. All right, stay cool for 5 minutes. So back on the EDC thing, I also carry one other thing that YouTube doesn't want me to talk about. I think the majority of you probably know what that is, especially when I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. Well, basically all the time, but that's just me. You do you. It's about time to start prepping dinner. I have been looking forward to this. It's probably the biggest serving of this that I've ever had. And I'm excited for the way we're gonna cook it out here. I've not done it before, and it's kind of unique to where I'm geographically located. So I'm gonna get working on that. I'm gonna get some coals going on the fire after I'm done cooking these mud and shit saturated pants. Stand by for that, fellas. Let's go back over to the camp. There's a few things I've been wanting to show you guys that we added to the truck to kind of make it a little safer out here for us and just kind of be ready for the unknowns. I've been preaching that pretty hard, but in Montana, it's pretty unforgiving if you get stuck. Like I mentioned, out here, we're pretty well screwed. There was one tent or set up back down at the campground, so we could make our way back to that. And then the closest farmstead's probably about 8 miles from where we're at. We could manage it. We could do it if we had to, but it's best to try and be self-sufficient as much as one can. So what we added with the truck, biggest problems you're gonna run into: 1, the truck won't start. 2, you're gonna have an issue with your tires. So to solve that, I kind of got an all-in-one fix for that. Right now it's in the back seat. Normally I stow it in the bed of the truck. So what I picked up was something you can probably grab in the nearest major city to you. I grabbed a DeWalt air compressor and a jump pack. So this thing I can charge up with my solar on the, not ideal, but I could charge this with my solar. It'd probably take quite some time, but I make sure I have it fully charged before I leave. It also doubles as a power pack as well. I have 2 plugins on the side of this thing, and then it's got some USB cable plugins as well, and a little bit of a light on the back of it, not much of a light. So this bad boy will air up my tires. The power pack, I'm not exactly sure how long that thing is going to last for. I didn't get a chance to do a functions check. Normally what I do is plug a little heater into it or something and let it run until it kills the battery, so I know. But that's a nice addition. It just gives me a little bit more peace of mind. So that's a must-have when you're out here, in my opinion. You have to have the ability to be a little bit self-sufficient. In the back of the truck, it's kind of a mess. That's where we keep a lot of the trash. Unfortunately, it smells like a shitty diaper in here. But back down there under the seat over there, I have a full toolkit, ratchet set and wrench set. I've got a log chain back underneath if I need to pull somebody out or have somebody pull me out, God forbid. Ball hitch over there. I got a bunch of come-alongs over there and a bunch of tie downs and a handful of ratchet straps stuck over in a bag over there. And also under the seat over there, under the passenger side seat, I have some more emergency food, some canned food and emergency food that just always stays in the truck year round. I keep one large blanket in the back seat at all times. Once again, it is Montana. The weather is bipolar. We've had blizzards in the middle of January or June down here, so you never know. In the back, the boys are kind of content for once. Oh my God, they're being quiet. What's happening? So underneath the platform is where we store most of the gear. Kind of how we have it set up now with the power setup. Move the bag out of the way. So back down underneath here is where I keep my power pack. So right now this thing is both supplying power and being charged. So I route my power cord up through the platform here. There's a hole I got bored right there, and I just route a power cord all the way up through. It comes back through up underneath the shelving unit, and then I can plug in the kids' iPad as they sit and watch their shows. I have GoPro batteries charging right here, and then if you follow the cord out, it runs up the side of the topper. Let me see if I can get up here without falling and hurting myself. And then up onto the top, and I got my solar panel units sitting here. So I'm charging as I'm draining power. My stuff's not advanced enough to tell you if I'm keeping up or if I'm behind as far as how power the consumption goes right now. I'm only running an iPad and GoPro battery, so I doubt that it's draining a ton. But anything's better than not. I had to buy an extended cable to be able to reach my solar from up on the roof down into there. And if you've watched the videos in the past, you know I want to do a roof rack up on the top. This is the plan, so we can toss some of the storage up on the top so we're not having such clutter in the bed of the vehicle as we're traveling. And then I've been bringing a generator. It's still that time of year where I'm not confident enough in the boys are young. I'm not confident enough in their ability to stay warm later in the evenings, or if we do catch a crazy storm, I think I would be just fine. But I bring the generator with, and I bring a jerry can. I make sure the generator's full and the truck is full every time we leave home. So it gives us, you know, that added level of comfort out here, that added level of security, knowing that I can run that thing and I can keep us just fine in the bed of this truck for, you know, probably, I'd say with the fuel we have, I could be out here for 4 days at least if I needed to. Probably could stretch that even further. Back up underneath the platform, some more things we have. This little repurposed ammo can. I'm telling you guys, if you want some for storage, ammo cans are great. They keep your gear dry and they're just very tough. They're not going to get beaten up. So in this one, I keep a bunch of power cords, electric cords, and I have this is our heater I've been waiting to get in. It's a small 300 watt heater. So this bad boy will run for 2.5 hours on that power pack. I don't know how long it would run on my battery power pack. I have the generator, so I'm not super worried about having to drain that battery power pack because I could recharge it if I needed to, but small heater. I also have just a small fan in here. This thing doesn't draw shit for power, so I could run this for some time and just hook it on in there. This will be for a little later in the summer. And don't have it yet, but we have on order a very small swamp cooler that'll be in the back here. But then I just have various power cords to charge some of our lights and then some of the devices that we run out here as well. Once again, sorry guys, you won't be able to see it out of my light on the GoPro, but way back underneath, back behind this storage bin right here, I have another ammo can that's full of some more like emergency food rations. I have a tent back there that's you know, just in case, and then I also have an extra sleeping bag that I keep back there. This is kind of where I stow a bunch of our extra stuff. So the camp chairs get stowed back here. The sleeping bags, if we're long-term storing them, they get stowed back here as well. And I pull this portion of the platform out and double stack them, and that's where we stow all of the larger items. And then, sorry, let me pause this real quick, boys. I'll turn it back on just a second, okay? So up over the windows, they're covered up right now by the Reflectex. I just been leaving that on there just because it is not super warm out just yet. It's kind of that weird ground where I probably could take them off, but they like it dark. I know they're weirdos. I have one on this side and one on this side, some storage. I've seen it done by a lot of guys. They go by the Cabela's cot, like a cot storage setup to where it should hang on the side of a cot. So I bought that and I just cut it The problem is it's too long. You can turn it back on. Sorry, buddy. It's too long, so I just cut it where it made sense. And I actually have a grommet press in my house, so I just pressed the grommets myself and hung it from either side. And then we have a light set up here to where it's just a rechargeable light. This is the light we use in the bed at the back of, at night. We don't have any fancy LEDs or anything like that hanging from it. I don't foresee that. I don't know why that'd be a priority for me. There's other things that I'd rather have than that, but it's coming a long ways. We fixed the headliner from the last video. That was a real pain in the butt. So we got the headliner stuck back up. I kind of got a little creative in how I did that and just kind of used a more quality adhesive, and satin was a little more patient with it. I kind of rushed it last time. And obviously our big tarps, you can go grab these at Shipton's. Get the high quality tarp. This is made of a canvas material. I kind of have a slight tear in it, and I ripped out one of the grommets already, which I'm not stoked on because this thing was not cheap. But the biggest thing is the water resistance. So this will keep us dry, and it's not going to run back into the truck like we were having issues with on our first video. So that's kind of the basics now. There's there's a ton of stuff in this thing, guys. That's just a little bit of a tour of some of the survival stuff that we brought in. If you haven't seen the other video, I'll go through this drawer real quick. So I just added this drawer, and there was no rails or anything in it. It's not super fancy, but what I did do is I just drilled in some small little wheels on either side of the platform. So now all I got to do is just lift a little, and it actually does open. So this is where I keep extra tools. So I got a small shovel, another hatchet. I got a hammer in there. I keep some extra fuel for the propane grills that we have. This is more solar charging equipment. Some emergency food. I have a couple of those hidden in here. I got a flat top griddle to toss on a fire if I need to. Some more fuel. I keep a ton of paracord in here. Paracord is another just essential tool out here, guys. If you don't have paracord out here, you're going to be scrounging. I mean, if you're trying to do things how we are, you're going to be scrounging. And then I have another small solar panel set up that'll charge small devices. Some fire starter. I try not to cheat and use this, but there are times where it is... Nope, you don't need this, buddy. Where it is just soaked and you are not going to start a fire. It's just the way it is, unless you're dumping gasoline on the thing. So that's kind of the basics as of now. I'd like to consider adding a little more storage. I'm not quite sure how I want to do it yet. I might reconfigure and add some more storage back down underneath on the bottom, on the storage side. Some more stuff off to the sides. It's a little more permanent. But you want the fan? Yeah. I don't think you need the fan. This kid, it is, gosh, it's got to be 50 degrees at most, and he's just chilling in his chonies right now, his Batman chonies. He just insisted on it. I don't know. They're the only young ones, so let them do crazy stuff. But that's it, guys. That's the small, the kind of the down and the dirty of the truck. We just keep adding little things here and again. I'm not trying to overdo it, though. We're just trying to make it as functional and, purpose-built as possible. So as we sit by the fire and take a second, I think it's important we recognize this channel's first sponsor. We're happy to have them. The channel's first sponsor is Skyhound Resilience. So Skyhound Resilience is basically a preparedness mentoring program. They talk about a couple different options, but baseline preparedness assessments, mentoring, coaching, emergency action plans, and also personal fitness coaching is kind of their niche. So it's a veteran-owned, law enforcement-owned company that is ran by an individual who has a massive amount of experience in that space. I also work in the law enforcement space, and I can tell you from experience that the massive amount of individuals we run into that became victims because of their, one, lack of preparedness and lack of a plan, and two, lack of just situational awareness in general is insane. It blows my mind because I do work in that space, so I'm hypervigilant as it is, but it is super important to have a plan and have a plan of action in place should something take place. Whether that's a natural disaster, a home invasion, you name it, it's important to be ready for those types of things to happen. And, don't be lazy and take the lazy way out, because all that's going to do is lead to something terrible happening to you or someone you love. So hit him up. I'll put his Instagram page up on here. If you're curious on any of those things I mentioned, or if you think that there's something he could help you out with, please reach out to him. He's a great guy, and he's doing really good things. And I think his program is only going to explode more than it already has. So I was foraging around a little bit, grabbing up more wood, and I found a big old pile of rocks. It used to be, looks like one large rock. I have no idea what kind of rock it is, but I know you can take rock and you can make some primitive edges with them for basic tools, basic knife, a spearhead, things like that. This rock seems perfect for that. It's very hard, and when it breaks, it fractures really well with a fine edge. So I'm going to smash a few of these things. I'm going to try and chip away at it and make, kind of a primal knife if I can. I want to see what I can come up with here. And it's not gonna be anything fancy, but I wanna see what kind of edge I can develop and put it to the test on the New York strip that I have left over from lunch. So I'm gonna grab something and see what I can come up with. I think this is gonna turn out pretty damn good. So here's what I'm talking about. It's kind of a yellowish rock. I have no idea. If you guys know what this is, throw it in the comments. Let me know what I'm looking at here. But when it breaks, it fractures pretty good and develops a pretty good edge on it. So I use some of it to make the fire pit. I'm gonna see what I can come up with, guys. Stand by for that. All right, look at that. Did not take long. That is quite the edge on that thing. Let's go put it to the test. So I messed around and made another one, so I ended up with two. Here's that first one I was showing you guys right here. Number two is just like a little bit longer, but I managed to get a really good break and get a hell of an edge on that one. So first thing we're gonna try it out on is a potato. We'll try both of them out and see what kind of cut we can get with it. It's not gonna be perfect, but if you were out here and didn't have a knife like you should, a lot of what we've shown you guys so far out here, you could do something with this. Probably not splitting your wood, but potentially if you needed to chop your shoelace, if you needed to scrape some of that bark off the tree, small things like that, a small primitive tool like this could at least get you through. Just gonna try not to cut my thumb off all the way out here. All right, not amazing. It's too girthy, too wide. Let's see about this little. This one's got a little finer of an edge to it. All right, I can work with that. Don't worry, it's just the fire exploding. Okay, that's a little better. Let's see what it does with the red meat. Get in here close, take a peek. That would be a problem to get cut by. That thing sliced right through that, no problem. Since I can't create a bow fire, maybe I'll make a spear. It'll be kind of fun to try. Sorry, the kids are just killing each other in the back of the truck right now. They have so much fun out here. I'm so glad we started coming out and doing this, and I appreciate everybody who watches these videos and takes the time. It's definitely meaningful to us, and we appreciate it, and hopefully we can continue to grow the channel. But I'm gonna make a spear, I think. I'm gonna try that out, see how that goes. All right, boys and girls, if you stuck with us to this point, it is time to eat this insanely large lobster tail. This thing is massive. For reference, here's that pocket knife I was showing you guys earlier. Look at that thing. That is a huge lobster tail. So in Montana, seafood is hard to come by. We fortunately have, in my area where I live, two pretty large businesses that bring in seafood to the area. They fly it in from Seattle predominantly, to my understanding. So we are going to cook this absolutely massive hog of a lobster tail, and my God, I'm excited to eat it. Let's get this thing prepped and on the fire. Oh yeah, that's gonna do it. So all we're gonna do, let's keep it simple. Butter, a lot of it. Don't go easy on the butter, go heavy on the butter. Let's try to a little more here. Good amount of butter on there. Just kind of wedge it down up in the shell on the top side, and it just runs down as it's cooking. So just kind of cram it up underneath that shell. Like that. Oh yeah, get in there. Don't stick to my fingers, get in there. I'd say lobster is my third favorite seafood. I'm a sucker for a good crab claw, and my God, do I love scallops. If you like seafood and you live in a spot where that's unique, talk to me about it in the comments, because my gosh, Montana, I'm gonna tell you now, it is hard to come by. There's about 3 places in the state you can go to eat it to where it's gonna be somewhat fresh and not you're not rolling the dice. So we got our butter on. Let's grab our little kid spoon and toss some chopped up garlic on that bad boy. Just kind of get it on the top side. It just runs down as it cooks. More is always better. I'm a garlic fiend. And my oldest boy, he actually enjoys some seafood. The youngest one's not super certain on the texture. He's not, doesn't really trust it yet, so I will be sharing this. So that's really it, guys. That is all I put on there. Garlic and butter, and let's get this hog on the fire.
Whoa, look at how big that lobster is.
That is delish.
Yeah, look how
You
big.
can't get this within 150 miles of where we're sitting right now, ladies and gentlemen. And we are in the absolute middle of nowhere. Beautiful sunset, Kevin. What happened?
I wanted to dip the board here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it end up on the ground? How'd that happen?
It filled like this.
Yeah, it sure did.
Yeah.
We get to make ramen noodles twice. Pink. Let's give it a shot. Ooh, that is good.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, how's the lobster? Let's get in this. Give me a big piece of that. Look at that meat. We got some butter here.
Can I have some?
My God,
I want that one.
that's magic, guys. That is magic. Look at this. Look at that beautifully cooked meat. That garlic and that buttery flavor.
That's
And that
another.
red New York strip. I'm telling you, man, we eat good when we're out here. Oh, no. Don't drop it, buddy.
Is it a tail?
So once again, that's why we have our sponsors. So support those guys because they support us, because this shit ain't cheap. We're going to turn the camera off now and eat. You guys having fun?
Yeah.
You eating your hand, not your fork? Whatever works, boy. See you guys. We're going to be tucked into bed here shortly. We're going to clean up the camp. I did see a bear about 400 yards out. I could see a bear creeping around, so they probably smell the lobster. I don't blame them. That's a unique scent.
Yeah.
Good morning. It's a little brisk this morning. We slept pretty good, but I woke up at about 4 a.m. I wasn't tucked in my sleeping bag like I should have been. Stayed a little warm last night and paid for that when I woke up cold. I got up pretty early, watched the sunrise, had a cup of coffee. I got the fire rolling. I'm gonna make these little boys some scrambled eggs and sausage. And I think we'll probably stay out here for, I don't know, probably half the day. We'll see. We have a family deal we got to get back to town for. And if we're late, Mom will not be super stoked with us. So I'm gonna let the coal base build up, bust out the flat top, and let's get some eggs going this morning. All right, breakfast in bed for the two little kings here. Good morning, boys. I got food for you.
Taking on that robot was one thing.
Are you in there, Knox? I can't see you. Where are you?
By myself.
Come up and get your food.
By yourself.
Come on. Where are you? There he is. They're happy to see me. They don't look like it, but they are. Who wants some food? How is it, dude?
No.
Good?
Yeah.
How about you, man? How's the food? Is it yummy? Can I get a thumbs up? Yeah. How about you? Can I get a thumbs up from you?
Yeah.
All right, dude. We're out on a little hike, and we have a wildlife sighting. I found the guy who's been chewing up all the trees. We're gonna go take a peek at him. Hard to see him right here, but right there in this tree, there's a porcupine sitting there. There might be another one, it looks like, a little further down. So we're gonna go take a look. Give me your hand, little man. Yeah, you just go slow down this hill, remember? Slow and lean back. Slow and lean back. And we'll go check out the porcupine. Should we eat it?
Yeah. No.
Go slow, Knox. You don't want to eat. You don't want to eat the porcupine.
Why?
We're not going to kill the porcupine. We're not going to hurt the porcupine. Just for the record, we're going to go look at him.
No, why?
Keep going. Keep going. He's been busy eating up all the trees. They can't move too good through this terrain, the little guy especially. I was gonna bring my backpack carrier for him, but like the bear back straps, I forgot it. Next time, we're learning. I end up carrying him half the time. What's up, buddy? Keep going. We're gonna go look at the porcupine. We're almost there. He's up here in this tree. There he is. He's looking pretty thick. Right there. Stop there, buddy. So he's right there staring at us. You guys might not be able to see him on it, but right there, poking his little head out.
Where is he?
He's just hiding in there. Can you see him?
No, I didn't. Where is it?
He's kind of camouflaged. Come on over here. Dad'll show you. Walk real slow so we don't fall. All right, come here. Come here. Come over here, little dude. All right. Look up in that tree. You see him staring at us right there? You see him?
Is he staring at us?
Yeah, he's looking right at us. Can you see him?
I see him looking right at us.
Yeah, look up there. You can see him. Wave at him. Yeah, he's not going to move. He doesn't want you to know he's there. He thinks he's sneaky.
Hi.
Oh.
Logan. Hi.
And there's one sighting of some wildlife. We saw a couple of sharp-tailed grouse, and then I saw a bear way out yesterday, but he did not come in, which I'm stoked on that.
Yeah.
The generator generally scares them off. But we're going to continue our little quest and see what else we can locate out here. We're summiting the hill. And I got 30 extra pounds with me. You're doing good. Keep coming. I'll get you when I set your brother down. Their fun meter's about pegged, and Dad's not far behind him here. It's a lot of work with these two, but certainly fulfilling. All right, I'm gonna go get your brother. You chill here. Ah. Loaded up and headed out. That was another fun adventure. We're a nice little 2.5 hour drive home. I imagine they'll get some Z's. Who had fun on this trip?
I did.
Knox, what did you like the most?
Camping and sleeping in a pickup, and wearing my hands up with the fire nose on the bencher with you.
Going on adventures with me. That's why we do it, folks, right there. Maddox, what did you like the most?
Brother.
Brother. Wow, how sweet. Well, thanks again, guys. Tune in a couple weeks from now. I think we're gonna have to skip a few weekends. Got some other things lined up, but we will be back at you from a wonderful destination that I'm gonna keep a secret for now, but it will be worth the watch. We gotta try and one up our menu now though, because that's gonna be a tough one. But appreciate you guys watching. If you could like it, share it, throw something in the comments for us. If you watch the video, please like it. It does a lot for the channel. Take care, guys. Signing off.